world. Listen, RIP X, DMX, the fucking legend, icon. I just want to say a couple of things about him.
Yeah,
I'm saying this as an individual who wasn't the biggest fan. You know what I'm saying? And I can say this objectively, not being the biggest fan, because I realize how important he was to New York culture and New York hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow DMX from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he was signed to Rough House Records first in the early 90s. He came out with the Born Loser record. Then he had the affiliation with Mike Geronimo, you know, one of Flushing's finest. You know, Irv Gotti.
Really, Irv Gotti.
Yeah. And, you know, he had the early 90s connection with these brothers. And then he went into other joints in 94. Like, look before 98. There's so many songs he's been on. He was on joints with Cash Money Click and Jay-Z, Ja Rule and Jay-Z on Mike Geronimo's Natural album. He was on joints, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this guy has been putting in work before that. And, you know, what you can say about this guy is he was a very tortured soul. He had a very, very troubled life. And what most people would have felt, they would have lost their sight. They would have died. They would have done a million things to destroy their lives. He persevered, weathered the storm. And then he made an impact back when hip hop was during the Shiny Shoot era. You had your underground MCs like Company Flow, your Most Defs, Stretch and Bobbito, shit like that. But that was the underground shit. On the main street, you saw hip hop change from Souls of Mischief, you know what I'm saying, and from going to the West Coast, you know, and then from the West Coast sound going to the down south and going to the Midwest. And you saw hip hop change, and even New York became more bouncy, Puffy, Biggie, Mace, you know. And this guy came out in 1998. He saved Def Jam Records. He put out 2 albums and went platinum in 1 fucking year. And he did it making the most hardcore fucking music New York ever fucking witnessed. You don't have to like Swiss beats. You don't have to think DMX is the most amazing lyricist, but you cannot doubt when you heard Get At Me Dog, when you heard Rough Riders Anthem, when you heard all these Damien, when you heard ATF, when you heard Crime Story, Stop Being Greedy, what the fuck, bro? When you heard these fucking songs on the mixtape circuit from DJ Envy, Clue, fucking, you know, all these guys, it was fucking life-changing. You heard a shift in the ground. During that era, loved Cannabis. I loved fucking Pun. I love the super lyrical motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But
I seen him go bar for bar with all them niggas.
Everybody in the hood. Everybody, if I went uptown, if I was in Washington Heights, if I was in the Village, if I was in fucking Southside Jamaica, Queens, if I was in fucking Elmhurst, if I was on Junction Boulevard, everyone was talking about fucking DMX. No one was talking about Pun. No one was talking about Cannabis. No one was talking about the Cameron.
Nah. Not to take away X Shine, but
Nature was talking about them. Yeah. But the motherfucking name that rang the loudest back then was the motherfucking MF.
No question.
Even before the videotapes, you heard of the battle between him and Jay-Z. Yeah. If you were in New York City, you heard stories about this guy. Yeah. This guy's legend was before he blew up. And then when he blew up, he became something so fucking monumental. There are no words to describe how iconic he is. You saw video footage of people in South Beach, Miami, going crazy on the strip, pumping Rough Riders Anthem. Wait till the fucking funeral in Yonkers, bro. It's going to be like fucking B.I.G. in Brooklyn all over again.
Yo,
this guy is an icon.
I relate to him too, man.
All the accolades.
I relate to him.
Anyone who's dealt with addiction, we all have either addicts in our family or we've dealt with addiction.
Not in that aspect. I was never an addict, but I was down and out, and I was down the bottom at one point. You felt the
empathy for that. You felt the empathy for the underdog, for a man who rose.
I felt that.
Who the fuck could do an entire fucking, and I don't want to say gimmick, who could do an entire lifestyle about dogs, barking, shit like that, and make it sound so relevant?
You know what? That wasn't even a gimmick, because that's actually what was his thing.
That was his life. Boomer was his best friend. What I'm saying is look at Brown Sugar and like the Dalmatians and that bullshit. Like that very easily could have trended into like
the Dalmatians,
your blackball for life category. Yeah, DMX sold it like this is my life, fuck you, and everyone went yes.
Because when you have that energy inside of you, it's going to translate. Real is going to always translate. Fake, not always. Sometimes fake does. Sometimes you can fool the public.
It does. You'll fool them. Yeah.
Sometimes, but most of the time, at some point, the light is going to shine on you, right? So, you know, X was never, you know, he's never going to be considered a gimme at that point because his shit was just too real and raw. His voice, his flow. Like people get caught up in the in the lyrics, like, you know, like you say, multisyllabic and this, right? But we forgetting that part of rap skill is flow, is you know, what you bless with the voice, is how you put songs together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't only like rappers who can rap. I like, you have to have the whole package. And I think X definitely had the whole package, man. Like I said, and I think that and I'm not trying to tear one person down to anoint another, but I feel, had he not run into the issues he had, or had they not been able to, have he been able to overcome those? So
he's the GOAT. He's been one of the GOATs.
He's the GOAT. He's
easily.
Definitely.
Easily. He's one of them. Yeah. He's one of them. No question. No question.
You know what I mean? And I don't even think, I think he'd be getting 20 million a flick right now. You know what I'm saying? He would have translated, you know, so.
You know what's amazing about him? And what's amazing about him is the same thing, like when you hear stories about Pac. And it's not the stories about like the mainstream shit with the accolades. Right. It's what you hear about, like the regular guy who worked at Dave and Buster's, who worked at Fridays. And he talks about how DMX came into a spot while he was working on a Friday night. Right. And said hello to all the workers, came out to Flick, gave them autographs, showed them love. You know what I'm saying? Like DMX, for all his accolades, because he was so tortured, he was a man of the fucking people. He understood people. He loved people. Like you said, the money didn't make him. The money didn't motivate him.
I seen a video
by the people.
Yeah, I seen a video where him, Mano, and Buster was talking on the street. I don't know what it was or whose video it was, but they were talking, and a garbage truck rolled by, right? And Buster was giving X love, but a garbage truck rolled by. The driver beeped the horn, and X showed that nigga love. And not to say Buster did on purpose, but he kind of, like, you know, he didn't acknowledge the garbage truck driver. X like made him acknowledge like the garbage truck driver, which was crazy. You know, that just goes, that speaks to your point. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a man of the people, man. You know, so listen, man, I'm very sad, but some reason, part of me feels a sense of relief for him. It's this weird undertone. It's a weird undertone for me. Now. You know what I mean?
He's at peace now, man. He's
at peace. I feel sad, but I also feel like relief for him. You know, if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. It does. Yeah. It does. I think he was
more than I have any other rapper for some reason. Yeah.
As selfish as we are as a culture, as selfish as we are as a society, and we want to hold on to our heroes and never let them go.
Yeah.
He was one of those people.
His transition, yeah.
He needed to transition. He needed to find peace, and he was never going to find that peace in this world. Not in this world. He wasn't.
Only
and dude, think about, you know what's amazing about him?
I was like, oh my God. Grand Champ album is underrated, by the way, but go ahead.
Grand Champ. Yeah. Yo, and you know what's crazy about him? I forgot what, I think it was DJ Scratch. I forgot what artist I saw that put this up on Instagram or on Facebook. They made a great point. They said, I think it might have been Bonds Malone, actually. You know, shout out to the hip hop journalist Bonds Malone, the old school legend. He said, what rapper do you know, do you recall, do you remember that mentioned and talked about God as much as he did?
Yeah.
And always took prayers, mentioned his name.
And his prayers were powerful, bro.
Dude, like, amazing. You ever see them live? You'll see like the live footage. Incredible. He's crying.
Yeah.
He's crying. Amazing.
And the way he goes, his cadence, even with the but that was actually the way he talked in interviews. It was crazy. His cadence was how he spoke. Like, there was nothing fake about his shit. Like,
you know,
that was how he rapped, and that's how he spoke. Like, that was the real. A lot of people, they rap and then you hear them talking like, what? What? Like, you know what I'm saying? So yo, DMX, God bless you, beloved.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Have a peaceful journey in your transition. And hopefully I never got to meet you. Hopefully get to link on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. With that being said, I think we should get out of here.
Yeah, we should end it on that, man. I'm good with that, man. But it's and what's sad? I'm gonna do some hateful shit right now.
You're a hateful nigga, but go ahead.
I am. You know what? As much as I love
the
DMX,
evil genius,
as much as I love DMX, I still fucking hate Swiss beats in the late '90s era. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan.
Swiss, I don't fuck with this nigga. Swiss, Don't hold this against me. Swiss, it's this nigga. Don't hold this shit against me, nigga. I'm
not a fan.
We don't give a fuck if you're a fan. We a fan on this. See this side of the screen? We fans over here. Nah, shout out to Swiss.
I'm just fucking around, just being a dick right now. Real
You're
talk.
A fucking dick.
I am a fucking dick. That's right. Real talk. You know what actually made me respect Swiss? And I'm gonna say this on a side point before we go.
Yeah.
Everybody watch the BET Rough Riders Chronicles documentary. It's incredible.
I saw it.
It's a great 5-6 part series. Amazing with D-War and everybody.
Yeah.
And what made me respect Swiss is that they talked about it. DMX talked about it back in the days when they were starting Rough Riders and DMX was just starting out and whatnot, and he wasn't in the studio. The guy he rolled around with the most was Swiss.
Yes.
And they could do all the grimy shit, all the dirt together before Swiss blew up as a producer, before he started doing all that shit.
Yeah.
So they already had a kindred spirit relationship.
Right.
So even if I couldn't see the vision and I wasn't the biggest fan back then of his production,
Swiss could.
He did. His uncles did.
Yeah.
He couldn't. But the fact was that they were so close.
Yes.
That relationship allowed that to happen.
Right.
And that allowed that music to go to another level.
And Swiss,
where it translated to so many people.
It did. The chemistry and the genuine love. And also, let's give Swiss props on this, because Swiss is on another level as far as economically and status in the culture.
He is. Yeah, absolutely.
He's having tea with Jay-Z and Rick Rubin and
he married Alicia Keys.
Married Alicia Keys and everything.
Come on, he's on another level.
He's also I believe he's in Harvard right now, or he was in Harvard.
He took a business program. Yeah, he did.
Right.
So Harvard. Yeah.
So my point is,
no, he's evolved.
Hobnobbing with Jay-Z, buying all this expensive art, all this money pouring in. I ain't counting the man's pockets and shit. But he never turned his back on X, even when X wasn't quote unquote hot like the industry wants you to be. He held his brother down.
Record, he was ready. He had like a gang of beats for him. Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about that. You're 100% right about that.
In an industry that's built on bullshit, and let me just make something clear.
No,
I don't want to be a part of your.
The next man, yeah.
I'm gonna look right in the camera. I don't want to be a part of your industry. Fuck your industry. That's not what we do this shit for. You understand what I'm saying? Nope. Just for y'all to be clear, we don't do this for the fucking industry. I'm good no matter what. But in an industry that shits on everybody, spits them out, he held them down. So shout out to Swiss.
You're 100% right about that. He did look out. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to the new album. They said it's done.
I'm looking forward to getting Swiss Beats on. We'll probably won't have you on the episode. It'll probably just me being Swiss Beats.
First thing I'm asking about is a Casio lawsuit. I'm calling Mashonda. And I know she got a couple of questions for him.
Oh, see, now you violent. You digging into the nigga's personal shit. Swiss, I'm gonna fuck this nigga up for you. Don't worry about it. Nah, shout out to Swiss, shout out to God Rest X. And on that note,
hold up, before we end, shout out to Cameron. Definitely, I don't like shouting out the competition because they don't give two shits about us, but Cameron Drink Champs, that was made to happen. Thank God it happened.
Very good episode. Very candid.
Watch it.
Yes.
Cameron, he's definitely one of those guys you need to give a 3-hour interview for.
I love Cam, yeah.
Absolutely.
Cam is fascinating almost. You know what I'm saying? Like
he is such a scumbag and such an amazing, intelligent motherfucker at the same time. Like, he's like the kind of guy that's like, I'm going to stab you in your fucking back because I'm a businessman. And then 10 years later, we're going to have dinner about it because it was business.
Right.
That's him.
And he's self-made. He's self-sufficient.
Absolutely. No question. He's a genius. He's a fucking genius.
He was the orchestrator of one of the... Hold on. He was the we're getting off the subject, but let me just end this like this. He was the orchestrator of one of the biggest movements in hip hop in New York City. There were 5, in my opinion. There was Terror Squad. Absolutely. We're not talking about underground. We're talking about
no. Yeah, Dipset,
full-blown movements.
Yeah, right. Rockefeller,
Dipset, Terror Squad, Rockefeller. You can't front on Puff's movement. Puff was on fire, and G Unit. You know, and Rough Riders.
And Rough Riders. Don't forget Rough Riders.
Oh, yeah, and Rough Riders. Yeah, absolutely.
Those six dominated New York hip hop for 20 years.
We won't see nothing like that again ever.
Easy. You know, you won't. You won't.
So
you're 100% right about that.
Word.
But no, Cam, that was an amazing interview. And like we said, he's when they say root for the bad guy, they're talking about Cameron Giles. Mm-hmm. That's what they're fucking talking about.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's what it is, man. Drop a gem. You already know what it is.
Yo, New York Knicks, number 8 seed. Let's keep it moving. Let's get into the play-in playoff.
How do I do an N or whatever?
I don't know how you're gonna do it. We want to do sign language or some shit. You know
K. Oh, that's a K. I'm talking about an N, a K. Anyway,
I'm gonna do a heart to show love for love equals omnipotence.
I'm gonna do this for love equals omnipotence.
I'm number 1. You're number 1.
Yeah. Shout out to the Knicks. Let's keep this popping. Shout out to the Nets too, because number 2, I'm fucking with Brooklyn. I'll be in Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. I love the energy in Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. Listen, we're gonna bring this chip in, and I'm gonna hold the trophy just as I would if I was a Knicks fan. Nice. Fuck that.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So
hey, shout out to the Giants. Let's get that O-line popping. Daniel Jones. Let's get into the playoffs. I'm confident.
And look out in the next month or so for the Leon Lotto Sports Experience. We getting ready to do that with Quest.
Okay.
So
that's right. That's
you know
right.
What I mean? So